Welcome to my channel.
In a house built on bloodlines, one boy was born to be forgot. Barik, with his faint magical affinity, would prove a useful stepping stone for my future plans, though he didn't know it yet. I'd sensed his energy during training, a glimmer of potential I could certainly exploit. My smile was genuine enough when I thought of him. I did intend to elevate him in my own way. I pictured our hands clasping, a silent pact musing, "I look forward to our future together, Barik." A sudden noise startled me, shattering my thoughts of Barik and the future. I was interrupted mid-thought as Chell appeared, looking displeased, and I knew what was coming. He was watching me, his gaze lingering on my hands as he asked, "What exactly are you doing, Ian?"
Like Durga has any interest in jewelry, but he always has that ring on. Is it a wedding ring? It's not really shaped like a typical wedding ring, though.
Most jewels are cut to maximize light reflection for extravagance, but Lord Malin's ring was cut dull, almost like a tool. It was a heavy, square-cut diamond, set in a thick band. The facets were precise, and the setting looked like it held a secret. The moment lingered in silence. Hannah, with the wooden ring, had managed to unlock a hidden drawer in Lord Malin's desk, making the same distinct click I'd heard before when he was in his office. I considered this for a moment, the implications of what that sound meant.
Just then, Chell sat at the dining table, offering a terse apology over his meal, which seemed to be part of a larger, awkward family dinner.
Lord Malin, across from him, seemed to be pressing a point about a friend.
Chell confessed to thinking he might not see this friend again, given the trouble he'd caused. He then clarified that the friend had assaulted someone, a past transgression that still weighed on him.
A woman at the table, perhaps Chell's mother, dismissed the friend's actions, stating she didn't care who his friends were. I just smiled, taking it all in, letting them think what they wanted.
Lord Malin then turned his attention to me, his smile not quite reaching his eyes as he warned that if I hadn't mastered reading and writing within a month, he'd consider it a fault of the boy host. He then added, chillingly, that he would have the boy host killed and that I shouldn't worry.
Later, I stood in the garden, observing Central Administrator speaking to Lord Malin, a scene of polite formality.
Central Administrator bowed slightly, bidding Lord Malin farewell with a respectful, "Yes, sir, please take care."
As Central Administrator walked away, I noticed a slight bead of sweat on his brow, and his smile seemed a little more forced than before.
"I was wondering where you were. It seems you were talking to Lord Malin."
Chell visibly flinched, his smile tightening as he tried to wave it off. It was just some small talk.
"This place is rather remote, so the Emperor's influence is weak here, causing constant conflict with the capital. But what if a servant of the capital was talking to some private tutor behind the mansion for a very long time? I guess you should be more worried about what he might do, not say, actually."
Chell looked around nervously, his attempt at nonchalance failing. "It really wasn't anything. Can't you just pretend you didn't see anything?"
I smiled, only on one condition. Chell's eyes widened and he stammered, "A condition? Please talk to my father."
"It doesn't matter what you are going to talk to him about. Just keep him occupied for about 30 minutes in the garden. And could you get me a detailed map of the Heavenly Warrior Great Desert, as well as data on the climate during late spring?" I gave him my most charming smile. "I'm sure you understand what I'm trying to say, since you're a smart person."
The golden light of my magic flared, a clear sign of my power and focus. I held my hand up, manipulating the light to construct a mental image of the ring I needed to replicate, calculating its dimensions precisely. Just like that, a perfect, glowing replica of Lord Mallin's ring hung in the air before me, but the problem wasn't merely its accurate depiction. I knew I needed to reproduce it physically, as accurately as my magic had just done. With a quill in hand, I began sketching the design, confident I could capture every detail.
Young master, this is supposed to be a ring, right? I asked, confirming her understanding of my drawing. She recognized it immediately, saying it was just like the one Lord Mallin wore, the one he always had on even though he never wore his wedding ring. She explained that Lord Mallin had often said he disliked diamonds, yet this ring, a diamond, had such a unique, dull shape and color that she used to stare at it often.
It struck me as odd that someone would make a key out of diamond, unless there was a specific reason it needed to be that material. Non-conductive, I thought, a sudden realization hitting me. Given it was a secret drawer, it was highly probable some sort of security mechanism, likely electrical, had been installed.
Hannah, I said, handing her a sketch. I need you to find a carpenter to make this ring for me, out of wood with a rubber layer on top.
Later, Chell arrived at the grand double doors of Lord Mallin's study, ready for his meeting.
"Thank you for making time for me, my lord," Chell said, bowing slightly as the doors opened.
Lord Mallin, ever the politician, offered his usual pleasantries, clearly prepared for a lengthy discussion with his eldest son.
This way, please, Lord Mallin gestured, leading Chell further into his study, likely to discuss the pressing matters I had set in motion.
They walked side by side, their footsteps echoing softly down the opulent hallway.
Hannah approached me, beaming, and I asked, "Hannah, the thing I asked for."
She pulled the small wooden ring from her pocket, the rubber top gleaming under the light, and I could tell it was perfect.
The size looks accurate, I mused, turning it in my fingers, and the rubber S on there too. Good job, I said, dropping a handful of coins into her outstretched hands. This should take care of your siblings' meals for a while, right?
"Yes," she replied, her eyes wide with gratitude. "They'll be good for several months."
My gaze shifted to the door to Lord Mallin's study. "Are you ready?" I murmured, half to myself, half to Hannah.
Chell stood in the hallway, his face twisted in a silent grimace, clutching his fist to his chest as if he'd been punched. I held out the replica ring to Hannah, the wooden diamond glinting faintly in the dim light, and told her she could do it. My voice dropped, the smile fading from my face as I impressed upon her the gravity of her task, reminding her of the consequences if she failed. Hannah's reply was quick and firm, a silent promise of efficiency. Soon after, I found myself alone in Lord Mallin's study, the scent of old paper and wood filling the air as I surveyed the room, my eyes sweeping over the desk and the small, circular side table. My hand, adorned with the replicated ring, hovered over the desk, the dark, rubber-coated diamond, a stark contrast to my pale skin. I pressed it into the hidden indentation, and a soft click echoed in the quiet room. With another soft sound, a concealed drawer slid open, revealing its dark contents. I pulled the drawer fully open, a faint rustling of papers accompanying the action, and noted to myself that the mechanism was far simpler than I had anticipated. Inside, a stack of letters tied with crimson ribbon lay neatly, their strange script immediately recognizable as belonging to the Heavenly Warrior clan, a language I couldn't quite decipher. I reached for a quill and parchment, my decision made. I would copy every single character. I meticulously began transcribing the foreign script, the gentle scratching of the quill the only sound in the room. My plan was to insert specific numbers and a seal into the copies, knowing the capital would compare them to Lord Mullen's tax reports and uncover the discrepancies. With the transcriptions complete, I carefully restacked the original letters, ensuring everything was in perfect order before sliding them back into the hidden drawer. Just as the drawer clicked shut, I heard a sound from the hallway and a voice call out, "Ian, are you in there?" I turned to face the door, a neutral expression on my face, and replied, "Huh." The air around me began to shimmer then, a golden light emanating from my body. I ascended into the radiant light, leaving the room behind as it enveloped me. I felt the familiar pull of my power, ready to confront whatever awaited me next.
How dare he trespass in my study, a man I myself brought into this house? What in the world were you thinking, losing your mind like that? I have no idea why he's acting this way, but I want his belongings thrown out.
Lord Mullen's assistant looked surprised, repeating the question about the possessions.
I said throw it all away and confiscate everything he owns.
The house was abuzz with activity, though I couldn't yet piece together the details of the commotion. The whole estate seemed to be in an uproar over something.
Was that incident with the central aid resolved? It almost got me killed, thanks to a certain someone. But it doesn't matter, as long as Lord Mullen thinks the central aid was responsible.
I had to admit, having the unconscious central aid take the fall for our meddling was a convenient development.
Young Master Ian, thank you for the pass. I've drawn the map and predicted the weather for the district you mentioned, but be careful, as a sandstorm might occur during your journey, and here are the contents of the memo.
The memo mentioned succession within the Heavenly Warriors clan, asking who would take the matriarch's place, which struck me as a detail important enough to have been kept in the safe. It seemed like a letter meant for someone specific, and the mere mention of the Heavenly Warriors clan's internal affairs meant this was a significant piece of intelligence.
I got it.
I turned to my unnamed assistant, already formulating my next instructions.
Of course.
Secretly burn the key I gave you. Deliver this paper to Lord Mullen for the gold, and send word to Philia on my way back.
The unnamed assistant's face lit up with a mischievous, almost feral grin as I outlined the tasks.
Ha, this is nothing.
Outside, horses were being prepared, their hooves clattering softly on the cobblestones.
Barik, where did I tell you to leave from today? The front gate. Go through the back today.
Birik, dressed in traveling clothes, looked up, his expression unreadable.
I think the front gate is going to be loud.
Birik, dressed for travel, looked up at me, his expression unreadable, and I added that I expected the front gate to be loud. 2 guards stood impassively at a set of large, ornate doors, their faces obscured.
My name is Ballymesin Nurserin.
I'm Ian Brack, and it's a pleasure to meet you. I asked what urgent matter had brought her here.
Vice Head Winchen's health is critical, so I would like to move our peace discussions forward. She urged me to understand that this discussion was about preparing for what was to come. For the Heavenly Warriors clan, the Vice Head's death was even more significant than the clan head's. She explained that the clan head might win his position, but the Vice Head was worshipped as their spiritual guide, meaning a death would trigger a year-long mourning period, so they wished to make peace before that happened.
Chell listened, his head bowed as she continued.
She recounted how Winchen, with his eye of truth, had guided them for ages and commanded unparalleled respect. She said that for any clan member, and especially for me, it was essential to make eye contact with him and gain his acknowledgement. She questioned if I was talking about that piece of paper, the one she still hadn't seen.
I listened, my expression carefully neutral, as she explained that whoever was putting their decree on that paper was someone of great significance.
Then she said that with Winchen's Eye of Truth, they could confirm if someone truly possessed the Durga bloodline. She concluded that it was strange the central administration would put someone on the family registry, unless it was to avoid suspicion and use the administration's power. She worried that if Winchen died now, the peace treaty would be in jeopardy, but that she could present the family registry, claiming sudden changes. She believed it would be beneficial for Durga to cooperate, and she wondered what he was thinking.
My mother placed a hand on my shoulder, a gesture of quiet support.
She insisted that if things changed, I, her son, needed to be mentally prepared.
I met her gaze, absorbing her words, the weight of her concern for me evident. The other figures in the room remained still, their attention fixed on us.
She spoke with conviction, certain that what she proposed was the right decision for peace. Meanwhile, out in the courtyard, Lord Malin fumed, railing about the barbarians who suddenly showed up claiming their situation was important. I will personally see to your family registration documents, Lord Malin declared, his voice still a harsh bark.
I offered a calm, neutral response, letting him believe I accepted his words at face value.
A sharp crack echoed as Chell slammed the door shut behind him, the sound carrying across the courtyard. Moments later, a carriage rumbled away from the estate, taking Lord Malin with it.
He was rushing off, no doubt, to sign those papers I'd planted for him. Good, he was finally gone. Now I could have my secret conversation with the Heavenly Warriors clan. With Lord Malin safely distracted, I turned to my guests, offering them food and comfort after their journey.
Two of the clan members looked a bit overwhelmed by the spread, but Meral remained stoic.
I have someone I want to be my escort, I told Meral, setting the stage for what was to come.
Meral listened intently, his expression unreadable.
You don't think he'll be a burden, do you? I asked, a faint smile playing on my lips. I'm certain he'll be of help to you.
Chell, meanwhile, just gave me a faint, almost shy smile, a musical note floating above his head as if he was humming to himself. That was the chapter. Subscribe for the next part of his rise.